Greetings, everyone. From the last 5 days, half of you have talked to half of you. So I'm glad today that there are still lots of people who are interested to learn this thing that the Buddha taught that to the world. And the masters who are so kind to propagate this Dhamma and make it easy, suitable for us modern people that we are a lot of busy mind, restless, with lots of information, never peaceful mind. And this teaching, which we have listened and understand how to practice, we'll see many who start practicing, they can achieve result from the mind that have never been aware, never returned to their self, lost and fabricate all day, lost in seeing, lost in thought, lost outside all the time. They started to see themselves, the mind that always wander off. Initially, when you listen and you think with your brain, and later when you practice, you feel you sending the mind outside is not good, because sending outside you lose chance to study yourself, and you try to control to make it stay with body and mind and learn this body and mind. It is staying, but staying is not by be aware when it's not there, by having the mind not sending out, and the sending the mind outside is to you need to start practicing, and the mind will see and understand. But we need to accept the truth that we are of strong, not strong enough nature, that we cannot progress fast, and that's why we are left over to this day. You need to be patient, practicing more and more, to see that one day you will achieve the true understanding. But if you are not, if you are still engaged with the world, you will never understand. But if you practice, even if there is some intention not to send outside, the mind still engaged in the meditation. Even with greed, it will have over-focusing. It will have some tightness or tense in the mind, and will.
So you start observing observe the mind, they will start to see and understand that if you have a lot of intentions, the consequence will be in a particular way, because everything's coming from the cause, and it starts to balance itself. Whenever you don't have intention, is then when you forget about the Dharma, you thought that it wasn't the Dharma practice time, and you running towards outside, and they were drifting away. So there's a lot of people have been practicing and things that they're wandering away for a long period of time. Why is that? Because you forget about your practice. You forget, you thought that that wasn't Dharma practice time, and you forget about your body and mind, and you're wandering away for a long period of time. So you have to realize that every step you take is the step of Dharma practice. There are Dhamma phenomena that once arises, then you can become self-aware, have the mindfulness. But here's when you start practicing, it depends on your spiritual faculty. Some people have the meditation power, and it is kind of samadhi that is right mindfulness, right samadhi, that is doesn't originate from overfocusing, and they can give rise to the samadhi that can be a knowing mind. And when they have the knowing mind or stable samadhi to cultivate wisdom, they are ready for wisdom cultivation. But here, you can't choose. Everybody has their own different spiritual faculty. But today we are determined, even though we have weak spiritual perfections, but if we're being consistent, then one day we'll become higher and higher spiritual faculty. What's spiritual faculties? They are faith, effort, mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. We have the faith. We are interested in what Lord Buddha taught us, and we start to realize that the world outside is full of suffering. And how could we transcend the suffering? And it's only the Dharma of Lord Buddha that can help us transcend the suffering truly. But the things that is most important is that Lord Buddha said that to practice Dharma, there are two things that are very important: is the samatha and vipassana practice. Samatha makes the mental power higher and gives mental power. Once you have mental power, it is like when you become exhausted, when you're doing a lot of work and become restless all day long, you have to come back and take some rest. While taking some rest, you don't do work, but the mind gets to take some rest, so your body gains some strength. But if you keep on sleeping and sinking into this satisfactions and drowsiness and calmness, then you wouldn't be able to cultivate wisdom, because you couldn't see the truth of the body and the mind that keep changes constantly. You need to come out and work. What it is, it is actually the wisdom cultivation. For the rest of us, we are city dwellers. We live in cities. We can't do jhana, absorption level of samadhi. It's quite difficult for us, but there are other ways. Like when you climb up mountains, there are different ways to climb up the mountains. So each person has different demeanors, whichever way they can do climb up that way. But do not just keep searching for the routes to climb up the mountains all the time. You keep on changing the routes all the time, you wouldn't be able to reach up the highest of the mountain. So take it seriously. Whatever path you choose, you have to be determined, you have to be resolute. And and patient in order to climb up the top of the mountain. So the very important tools that I've talked about is the first one is to have the mindfulness. And the second one is to have the right samadhi. But before having the right samadhi, you need to have the right mindfulness first. Without capability of entering the jhanas or having a right samadhi from entering jhana, like in third or fourth jhana, we can use the momentary samadhi, being aware of the phenomena within the body and mind. Every time that we know, at that time, you become self-aware for a moment. You have a momentary samadhi. But here, when we aware automatically, but during practice, while having the intentions to practice, it is necessary because you never seen these things. You just sending mind outside all the time, and therefore you need to have the intention. But that intention wasn't automatic mindfulness. But at that time, we can get back to ourselves and observe the phenomena within ourselves, within our body and mind, more and more. That as I said earlier, the more you see the phenomena without intention, without intention, at that moment you have true mindfulness, and that's this automatic mindfulness, which is called the right mindfulness. And this particular mindfulness is not kind of mindfulness that help you take some rest. It's the sort of mindfulness that conducive to the wisdom cultivation. So that's why it's so important. So when start practicing, you have to start by being aware of the existence of the body and mind initially, and try to see the truth of the body and mind, or the kind of phenomena. When you see myriad phenomena, it gives rise to the samadhi. The right samadhi for resting is to have to see the phenomena as they really are. Whatever the phenomena it is, that's fine. Whether it is happiness and happiness within the mind, or good or bad within the mind, they're fine. Or mental formation, whether it's wholesome and wholesomeness, whenever you see it, that's fine. So it will start to, whenever you see any duality of these phenomena, you could see further in details, because the mind starts to become self-aware, then it has developed the quality of the mind. Then you start to see more details of phenomena, more subtle phenomena. When you see the phenomena as they really are, or the other ones, when you see the behavior of the mind, every time there will be behavior of the mind happens. For example, the mind drifting away is another behavior. When the mind is sending out from the base, move away from the base, pay attention to the things outside, listening, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, bodily sensation, whatever it is. But the most important, most often phenomena that happens is when you wander off to the world of thoughts. No matter the story of the mind is, or what the image of the eye see, or what the story you heard from the ears, it doesn't matter what taste your taste, or what cold or hot of the body is. But the significant point here is that you have to realize that you forget about yourself, you wander away. There's no samadhi anymore here. But in order to be able to see this for the rest, for us, it's quite difficult, because you're wandering away for a long period of time. Therefore, you need to have the meditation objects or home base. It's like the rest of us, when we have home, whenever we're done with our business, we go back home. Likewise, the mind is the same. The mind needs to have a home base. The home base or object of meditation is like the point of interest for the mind to see. For example, wherever you go, the home is your point of interest that you have to go back home. Likewise, meditation objects is the point of interest of the mind, that whether the mind is at its base or not. When you at the base, when you at your house, you know that you're at your house. But when you're not at your house, it means that there's no more object limitation. That home is gone. That home base is gone from your feelings. So you realize instantly that that moment you're wandering away. At that moment you become restless. At that moment you are greedy, angry, or wandering away. Anything is fine. Anything is whatever you can see, that's fine. The more you see these kind of phenomena, might start to gain samadhi more. Every time that mindfulness arises, automatically it will become right mindfulness. So whenever the right mindfulness happens, it's the proximate cause of the right samadhi. And this right samadhi is the one called stable samadhi. The mind that is on the base, is rooted in awareness. And this kind of right samadhi is when you could see the phenomena of the work of the body and mind exactly the same as you used to see. When the mind with yourself is not running away from you, wherever the phenomena arising, you could see them. It comes and it goes. It comes, all kinds of phenomena come and go. And you could see the changes. Even the knowing myself changes as well. Sometimes it's knowing my, sometimes it's wondering over my, sometimes it's knowing my, sometimes greedy mind, sometimes it's knowing my, sometimes it's angry mind, sometimes it's knowing my. But there must be a duality, like the knowing mind is the one that needs to be there, which is knowing mind. The more you could see this, then you start to see that even the knowing mind, that knowing mind and the lost mind are two different things. The knowing mind and greedy mind are two different things. The knowing mind, the greedy mind, the angry mind and knowing mind are two different things. Or you observe the body, you see four postures of the body. The knowing mind is the one who knows that your body is sitting, the body is walking, the body is standing, the body is lying down, or at this moment you are moving, or the body still, the body moving in four postures, whatever, or breathing out, breathing in or breathing out. At this, the mind will be the one that knows these postures. You'll be able to separate the aggregate, which is the form, and the consciousness. That's the first part that I talked about is about conditioned information. But you could see that all kinds of minds comprise of the feelings. Sometimes happy, unhappy, and neither unhappy nor neither unhappy at times. The knowing mind is not the one that happy, but the knowing mind is the one that sees that the previous mind is happy, or the suffering mind, the mind could see that the suffering is another one. So the happiness and suffering is not the mind. The mind is the one who knows the happiness and suffering or indifference within the mind. I will start to separate like this. So from separating aggregate, you start to see that despite the fact that it's different things, you gradually see that nothing is certain, everything changing constantly. It happens and it go away. It was suppressed to go away. The things that were suppressed to go away is actually uncontrollable. It is what it is. It is what it is. The four elements, five aggregates are working distinctively, like on their own. This is when you're cultivating wisdom. You see the three marks of existence of the body and mind. When you cultivate wisdom more and more, a lot of us have very short span of attention. A lot of us have a lot of restless mind, because you see right now we are restless. And you come back to the meditation objects. If you use the breath, you can see the body breathing. Anyone that uses the mantra, you think of the mantra. Anyone you see the body moving, you can observe the body moving and still, or you observe the four postures of the body. or if there's greed arises, that you want to be self-aware as much as you can so there will be more weight. Know that there's intention to be aware of the body, that to be self-aware. I'm not saying that you should fix it. You just know how it is, and it's uncertain sometimes, and at time then for now it's just gonna be like drift away. It will work like this for us to see from time to time. When you do samadhi and you have gained strength, mental strength, then you come back to train your mind to be stable, to see the phenomena as they really are. It will gain the right samadhi, the stable samadhi, or you could see the behavior of the mind. For example, if you maintain the mind, guarding the mind, making it still, these are the behaviors of the mind. You could see the minds that move away or drift away. These are the behaviors of the mind. You can do this so. There's no wordings. If you couldn't see the minds that moved away, you just see that the happiness arises, know so. When suffering arises, know so as well. Or if you couldn't see whether it's happiness and happiness, you could also see the irritation. You feel that nothing can be controlled. The aversion arises, know so that you all become angry. This is when you see the phenomena as they really are. When you see it as they really are, at that moment, the mind becomes stable at that moment, without like suppressing or maintaining or guarding it. As soon as the mind becomes stable, you try to separate the aggregates. This is going to be the loop. And then once done separating aggregates, you cultivate wisdom. This is our duty. All the things that I said, is it limited to the formal meditations like walking meditation or any free time that you're parted from all kinds of burdens in the world? No, it's not. Waking up in the morning when the body exists, you could feel the existence of the body. If the body moving, can you see that? When the body goes to the bathroom, washing teeth, cleansing face, you use all the body. Could you sense the body moving? That moment you didn't work, but you do different duties, activities. There's a lot of things that we do requires the body. So you don't have to worry that you have to observe the mind only. You can observe the body. If you couldn't see the mind, is like a lot of delusions in the morning, is a lot of blurriness. You can't observe the mind. Instead, observe the body, sense the body. And you become awakened. Therefore, while doing different activities, in daily life you could be aware. But if you do work that require thinking, that require focusing, concentration on the work, know that you're working. But when you don't work, which in a lot of parts in different parts of the work, that you drift away from the work, you can be aware of that too. For example, you have to go to the bathroom during work. You use the body walking to the bathroom. Before going to the bathroom, the body is subject to the suffering. Once done, the body becomes relaxed and happy. And you can be aware of the body happy. The mind is also happy. The mind is not restless anymore. When the mind becomes restless, know so as well. When the mind is happy, it's not restless. You can be aware of that too. When you have to go to lunch, going to have some meals. You have meals every day. You go to the canteen and you think that, it's the same thing, same day, same thing every day. Are you bored? If you're bored, know so as well. you start to board the meals in this hotel. It's already 6 days past, but even though you're bored, you're still eating it. If you're bored, no, so you can eat this. I can take this, but it's not really satisfy your mind. It didn't really satisfy your defilements, that craving for satisfaction or happiness. It'll go away. Once you're done with the meals and you forget about it, you can train yourself like this all day, but we ignore these things. So be aware of the existence of the body and mind from time to time. I said from time to time, not always. But can you forbid it? Sometimes you try to make it all the time. No, sir. No, so. Know that you're greedy for practice Dharma because you have defilements. That defilements try to control yourself to do different activities. That's why you're overfocusing. But if you know so, you won't be overfocusing. It will become more relaxed. Once you're relaxed, what do you do next? The nature of the mind is wandering away again, right? Once it wanders off, know so, know that the mind wandered off and comes back to the meditation objects or the home base of yourself. So when you think of the meditation objects, you focus on the meditation object, you take a grip on the meditation object. Know so you grip the meditation object, you attach to object meditation. When it's not a strongly grip, it's ready to drift away. Know so that it drifts away. So there will be just knowing and drifting away, or focusing and knowing away, drift away and knowing mind. It keeps alternating like this. You'll become more competent at knowing this. So the things that we must do. Luang Por said that if you do, it's going to be wrong. But if you're not doing it, it's even more wrong. When you meditate on an object, the mind attached to the object of meditation, there must be an intention, but it depends on your experience. If you have a lot of intentions, your overfocusing is too much. But if you have more experience, they're more relaxed. When you attach to the object of meditation, the mind won't go to hell for sure. Unlike the mind that wandering away, you have chances to go to hell while you die. So at least you're safe from worse realms to some extent. But if you don't do it, don't meditate, then you're wandering away. When you're wandering away, you have tendency to go to the worst realms. So the tools that make to cultivate the mindfulness, it reduces the tendency or the chances to go to the worst realm or making mistakes. And if you are more competent at becoming self-aware and become stable, develop a stable mind from time to time, then you won't go to the worst realms. You don't have to become like noble ones yet, or anything that you would like to become on this path of Dharma practice. It is the path of practice to enter the liberation, which are let's start with the question. Number 1. I've been studying Luang Por teaching for 8 years, have attended some courses before. I have not had interview with Ajahn before. During formal practice, I do walking meditation by observing body moving during walking. Second, I do sitting meditation. I observe body posture and body movement or body stillness. And during calmness meditation, I observe body stillness or emptiness or spot below my nostril. And number 4, I'm mentally chanting Buddha, Dhammo, and Sangho when agitated or going through mental storms. I practice 1 to 3 hours. Someday I can practice more than 3 hours when in Saranat. Some days, especially when in my hometown, practice time gets shaken. During daily life, by being mindful of body movement and posture, and observing the moving mind. The first question, during mental storm, only mental shining works through body is my main object of meditation. Is that okay? Number two, during walking meditation, sometimes there are too many thoughts and I forcibly try to remain with the body. Is it that okay? Number three, I observe anger, craving for comfort and stillness, restlessness, dissatisfaction, mental and physical suffering, and too much intention. Precepts are much better except for irritable speech sometimes. Is practice on right track?
ภาวนาวันละ1-3 ชั่วโมงในชีวิตประจำวันมีสติรู้สึกตัวถึงการเคลื่อนไหวหรืออิริยาบถของร่างกายและสังเกตจิตที่เคลื่อนไหวคำถามเวลาเกิดพายุทางใจมีเพียงการบริกรรมในใจที่ได้ผลแม้ว่าร่างกายจะเป็นอารมณ์กรรมฐานหลักแบบนี้ถูกต้องไหมเวลาเดินจงกรมบางครั้งมีความคิดมากเกินไปจึงพยายามบังคับใจให้อยู่กับร่างกายแบบนี้ถูกต้องไหมสังเกตเห็นความโกรธความอยากในความสบายและความสงบความฟุ้งซ่านความไม่พอใจความทุกข์ทางกายและใจและความจงใจมากเกินไปรู้สึกว่าสิ่งดีขึ้นมากแล้วยกเว้นบางครั้งพูดด้วยความหงุดหงิดการปฏิบัติอยู่ในแนวทางที่ถูกต้องหรือไม่ขออาจารย์ชี้แนะด้วยค่ะ
It's correct. When I felt it's correct, why? Because you've got better on precepts. To a large extent, because you know by yourself that your precepts got better, so you see the result of your practice. You could see defilements more often. Therefore, the defilements couldn't take over your mind to conduct misdeeds less. So this is in terms of the overview of the practice. So in the aspects of Dharma practice, actually what you did is actually better than previously. Back then you become so restless and think a lot. You think quite a lot. You're very overthinking. When you start practicing, you want to know what to do and what to make your mind calm or make to cultivate wisdom. You keep on thinking ahead of time. Now you got better. You become more self-aware. But when you think and previously when you have intention deep down, you still love calmness. You dislike restlessness. See? You still love something and hate another thing. We can't blame you on that, but you have to be aware of it. Restlessness is another phenomenon. Calmness is another phenomenon, but you dislike restlessness, you like calmness. You think that restlessness is a bad thing, is unwholesomeness. You think that calmness is wholesomeness. But actually, calmness sometimes is not wholesome. The calmness that arising from fabrications or the emptiness that coming from fabrication, anything is fabricated is actually arising from the minds that have the defilements to fabricate to be good, to develop happiness. Be aware of that too. You have to realize that all kinds of phenomena taught you Dhamma. Happiness, calmness taught you Dhamma. Restlessness, or aversion, or greed taught you phenomena as well. So if you get to know these phenomena, then they'll become your teacher. You could see that they are subject to the 3 marks. If they are us, you think that you don't want to be restless. If it is us, you think that you shouldn't have the aversion. That means that they are not us. But the restlessness is the one that the mind knows. The aversion is the one that the mind knows. You can observe like this. Observe as if it's somebody else, because they're not us. Is that more comfortable, more easier when you, for example, easier from when you become restless, you try to chanting in order to get rid of the restlessness. Actually, it's helpful at times, but you have to realize that not like every time when you become restless, you try to chanting the mantra in order to fight against the restlessness. But instead, we use the mantra to let the mind not wandering away too much. Behavior is the same, but there are different intention. When you have intentions to try to get rid of the restlessness, to suppress the to try to against the restlessness, that's one intention. There's the craving to try to control the mind to chanting mantra. But if instead you observe the mind that now the mind is wandering away, there's no place for the mind to reside that makes it happy. So you think of the mantra because it makes you happy. See, it's not about when you meditate on objects and there's no restlessness, but it's about when you be with the object meditation, it's not make you restless. And it's not like you chanting mantra to against restlessness. Here is will help you notice. And the other point, when you're doing calmness samadhi, you observe the stillness or the emptiness. You can do that. But deep down, do you realize that you like it? You're satisfied with this kind of phenomena. It's actually you attached to those phenomena. Whenever you feel satisfied or like it, there another defilement. You don't want to come out, make contact with the world, or see the changes of the body and mind, which it will portray the 3 marks. But if you are here, like right there, you won't see the 3 marks. But if you're satisfied with that kind of calmness, and sometimes there's another defilements that interfere with this and infiltrate with this, like as well. If you're satisfied with this kind of state of mind, whenever the phenomena that changes or make contact with the world harshly, you try to escape from that situation and come back to be with the breath or be with the emptiness. You try to escape from things all the time. That's why you never get to learn. Whenever contact makings, there are changes, there are dissatisfactions. Beware, try to observe that dissatisfactions arises from the causes of contact makings through the things that you dislike, situation you dislike, so that aversion or irritation arises. And you should observe this irritation that it's not us. But because you dislike it, so try to escape from it to the calmness. There's a lot of us there, all over the place. Try to be aware of this, then you can make a great improvement. But to be fair, now you have a lot of good improvement already. Is there other questions? I actually answer all sort of questions you asked. Is there anything else on the list, or you still wanting to ask question?
Can I just ask one little small question about my practice? So is it okay to continue the combination of walking and sitting meditation, or should I focus more on walking? Is it okay to continue the combination of walking and sitting meditation, or should I do more walking?
Mìnhจะเดินมากกว่าหรือเปล่า? You can do more walking meditation because while sitting you tend to sink in and still. The mind not really come out to cultivate wisdom. So like moving like this is more awakened. Good. It's working and more than that. Now, Luang Po really concentrate on walking 3 hours, walking meditations. But if your body is cannot endure, you can walking alternating with the sitting as well. But do more walking. Second person. During formal meditation, I've been learning Luang Po teaching for 8 years. I used to attend courses, but never submit home, but never have interview with Ajahn. During formal meditation, while walking meditation, I observe the body, the movement of the body, and while sitting meditation, I observe the body posture and movements and the stillness of the body while doing. Oh, sorry. Wrong question, sorry. I've been studying Luang Po teaching for 10 years, have not attended any courses before, have not done my interview. How my practice, what needs to change, and what is your advice?
If you can come to be aware of the body occasionally, that is good, but not now. Now it's better you are not and you are aware. Practice more formally, that's better. There's a duration, you did less. That's why you are more restless. But the result of those restlessness is still here. So practice formally more. Consistently. Consistent is important. More is important too. But gradually, every time that you miss being aware of body and mind, you lose opportunity, lose your awareness, lose meditation. Let the mind go off with defilement. Every time you let the mind go off, that's a kind of training, a habit to wander, and often wander to unwholesomeness. If you have this mindset, it will lead you to return, to be aware. See, you're brighter now. You're more awake. When you meditate, you need to be awake, not to sink in. Don't just let the mind rest with samadhi. See the body, not just as you have said, to practice continually, to grab with the body. These are all samatha, mostly. But if you can be and see the mind go off frequently, that's better. This is what you need to practice. That's enough. You get enough mindfulness and enough automatic mindfulness, and it will increase samadhi gradually. And when you have samadhi, the mind that is not sunk into samadhi or samatha, it will have some changes in the mind. Every time it changes, if there is the observer mind, it will see these changes. It will see the 3 marks. No need to think about the 3 marks. Now your body is moving. Do you feel it? The body is moving. At first, the mind is stuck at the body. Think about the body continuously. See? The mind catch and grab at the body. Now the mind loosen up. Can you see it? It's different. Okay, keep practicing. Okay, you have question, you can ask.
ใช่หลงแล้วรู้ในถามคือในชีวิตประจำวัน
In daily life, when you use the wandering mind and knowing, but I don't feel that my automatic mindfulness is not often arises. Can you give me a suggestion?
When your mind go off, it means you're forgetting. If there is no mark to see, it will go off for a long time. Except who have great merit accumulated. Luang Po himself used his mind go off and see, because he have great power of right concentration. For us, we need to have the home base, and with the home base, you can notice when your mind forgetting the home base. That when you realize, oh, you have gone off. Okay, that's good. Next. Number 3, I have studied Luang Po's teaching for half a year. I have never taken course, never get into interview with Ajahn. For formal practice, I sit meditation, practice breath mindfulness. In daily life, I see the body. The question is, when I sit and meditate, I feel the energy is obstructing the body, vibrate, and the breath is too tight. Mostly, I will stay with the bodily feeling. It is like this for almost a year. I like to ask whether how should I adapt my practice.
เป็นแบบนี้เกือบปีแล้วขอถามอาจารย์ว่าควรปรับแนวทางการปฏิบัติอย่างไรดีคะ
Your question and your answer, it is strange. You practice anapanasati, and it means you have been practicing for a long time before learn with Luang Po and try to adapt your practice to Luang Po. Which means what you're practicing is wrong. It's mostly over-focusing at the breath. That's why it's tight. Instead of breathing normally, you breathe abnormally. So when you breathe out and breathe in, it's adaptation, modification. Why do you need to adapt like that? To make it abnormal. Every time you try to breathe in and breathe out, your mind catch at the breath and you are not aware. It's a kind of over-focusing and focusing more and more and become tight and tense to your breath, your chest. Isn't that right? That's why you cannot help because you practice for a year. You need to be aware that when your mind aware of your breath, your mind run to the breath. Be aware that it run there, and be more comfortable. Don't act. Don't change your posture. Change your mind. You can sit normally. You can breathe normally. You are breathing now. You can feel your breathing. You are breathing now. Without breathing, you'll be dead. Do you see?
就是我打坐的时候，就是看那个呼吸嘛，然后后面我发现他没有办法一直在业处的时候，我就随他去了。随他去的那个过程，就是我有看到我的心，不在业处了，或者是我的心迷失了，或者是我有点困了，或者我的心就一直都在工作，我也都看到，就没有一直在这个呼吸上了。但是因为我的身体它动作很多嘛，然后我感觉我那个都在感觉上，就都在那个感觉，比如说感觉我的胸口很闷，然后我是在那个上面，然后比如说我的头很晕，我就在那个晕上面，就是那个感觉。
When she sit and meditate, she see the breath and think and feel it's not at her breath, not at her meditation, and the mind is not staying at the meditation. It go off or it is drowsy. And meditation is that the breath? You mean the breath, right? Is your meditation. And the mind work all the time. Sometimes there is lot of movement in her body and in her that she can feel those movements and she feel dizzy. When you are doing a lot of over focusing, you will feel dizzy. Some even focus on the head. It's dangerous. Or focus on the eyes. Look with the eyes. Just feel it. Okay, let's change. What have you done in the past? Let it go. You won't use the abnormal mind, that interfering mind, that's abnormal, controlling and focusing to the place that you think is right. That's not the way, not the meditation, not right meditation. It's not putting it on here and there. Meditation is the work that you did for noticing the mind. You see, you go off to think. Yes. Now you are aware. Do you need to do anything? You don't need to do. Otherwise, it's interfering. Your normal mind can see the phenomena are there. It's still abnormal that you got stuck. You can see a bit, but with the bad quality of mind. It's as if we sit at near the river, and there's a ship, and you jump into the ship. You are now on the ship, so you can still see other ships, but you are float together with the river. It's bad quality. It's not staying in one place. But if you stay on the shore, on the bank, you see all ships come and go, and you won't float together with those ships. You need to have some energy. Sometimes you need to spend some time with the breath. It will the mind will be obstructed. It will be hard to breathe. You feel it's hard to breathe because you are focusing on the breath, over focusing. Now you see over focusing. Have you been focusing for many days, right?
可能是变成一种习惯，然后自己不知道，然后当知道的时候，
It's improving. At least you listen to 4 or 5 days. Now you catch the principle that this is over focusing. These are all over focusing. It's understanding, recognizing. If you can do it, can you do exactly correct? No, because it's your habit. You need to meditate, and when you meditate, it's by its nature. You have been trained yourself. Whenever you meditate, you catch the breath, and now it's sending to the breath, and And later, when you are aware,
once you catch the breath and know so, when you forget about the breath, then it's gone away. When the more you focus, when you don't do, you don't focus, you feel comfortable and you're wandering away. See, there are two extremes. If you meditate on an object, at least while meditating, you have the mindfulness to be aware that you are meditating. So you don't really much over-focusing. And the over-focusing actually comes from wanting to know the breath. When you want to know the breath, then you catch the breath and you try to take a grip on the breath. It's very subtle. You can't really take a grip on it. So you try to interfere with the breath more and more. But now you know, and so you will over-focusing less. Actually, previously and now, you're all over-focusing, but you're more relaxed and comfortable. The body nodding, you see that? You start to see that become self-aware. When the body moves and you become aware, is it easy? But actually, we don't really become self-aware. You have to train till you become self-aware yourself. There's a rapture arises. Know that the raptures decrease in degree. The minds that have this mental strength will develop the raptures. The raptures arises. Could you see that? Observe it like this. When your practice is good, it got better than previously from when you're not in this retreat. Therefore, for now, practice the same. Carry on with your practice and try to observe your mind. Once the mind sending out to see the breath or interfere with the breath, know so. After a while, forget about the breath, wandering away, know so as well. Do not pay attention to direction of the wandering away mind. Most of the time, it just wander off to think of other things. Know so, and it comes back to the breath again. If your mind is not neutral towards the wandering away, then you tend to over-focus. Be aware of that. The mind is not partial, is not impartial. The mind is not neutral to phenomena. So you try to make it not drifting away. Just know it as it is. And then it become more drifting and drifting away. And in daily life, whenever the body moves, whatever posture it is, know so. What you practice is good. You become more self-aware now. And you have developed some samadhi. The raptures, there are samadhi arising. You see that you drift away just now? See? You see that the wandering away mind and knowing mind are two different things. This is when you separate the aggregates from the mental formations and knowing mind. Now you see the body is sitting, and there is knowing mind that knows the body is sitting. Good. Carry on with your practice. Are you happy? Are you glad? Know so. It's okay. It's all gone. She's whining about. She's asking about changing the meditation objects. No, you don't have to carry on with your own meditation objects. And for example, sitting meditation. While sitting, you do what you do, not just like try to interfere or adjusting. Just sitting in normal way, like normal people, and not close your eyes, because as soon as you close your eye, you're over-focusing. The more you over-focus and then close your eyes and then you become asleep, the illusion kicked in. And then while walking meditation, it becomes self-aware, like when you're nodding and self-aware, you walk like that. Whenever the body moves, and it will become clear and see the body move, send the body moving on and on. And sometimes it moves to the body. Be aware of that too. When you forget about the body, sometimes you going to the breath because you normally train yourself to observe the breath and also as well. Sometimes it forget about both the body and the breath. It wanders off, and also as well.
就是那个身体它，比如说我现在迷了，就是我忘记了业处，忘记了身体，但是就是我的身体其实有很多感觉嘛，它就会回到那个感觉，是不是我太聚焦那个感觉了？
You're wandering away. Can you see that? When she wander off, she forget about her body. But their bodily sensation, it comes back to that bodily sensation. It is something like focusing on that bodily sensation. Actually, when you forget about your body, you don't feel the body, the whole body is gone. That means when you still feel the body, what is it that you feel, that you can sense? The overcasting, right? Or it's tightness? Like congestion within my chest. That's actually the consequence of the actions. It stay longer because you have been overcasting for a long period of time. That's why there's some congestion within the chest. And deep down, you dislike it. You want it to go away, so you try to wander away. But actually, you didn't wander off because you don't want to observe that congestion. You want to wander away. But actually, in fact, the mind still overcasts on that congestion. You can observe yourself.
还有一个动作就是，比如说回到身体的时候，发现，比如说肩膀有点紧，然后会有一个动作就是去放松它。
Sometimes my shoulder stiff and I try to relax it. It's correct because you're focusing and all these shoulders are stiff. My shoulder actually stiff as well when I observe you, when I see you. Can you relax? Yes, you can. And try to observe the body moving. Like move, everyone moves. Could you feel more relaxed now? Yeah? See? When you stay in a posture for a particular posture in a long period of time, it causes you suffering, but you don't try to observe it. When you move and you be aware, it means that you try to change the postures. It's actually cover the suffering. But if you're Dharma practitioner, you can see that whenever you change the postures in the body, you become more relaxed and happy. It gives right happiness to the mind as well. See, the happiness developing. Happiness is the proximate cause of the samadhi. See? If you don't try to keep on overcasting, those stiffness will fade away. It's not like you're not overcasting, you're still overcasting when there are weight upon your shoulder. Okay. Next person. I've been learning Rinpoche teaching for 3 years, never attended course and never interviewed with Ajahn. During formal meditation, I observe the body breathing. In daily life, I try to observe the bodily movements and I try to observe the changes within the mind. Question. Sometimes I could feel that I have intention to give rise to the mindfulness. Sometimes it's not very natural. Sometimes I try to against it. Then not the present state of the mind is, for example, when the mind wander off, I try to be against the present state of the mind. For example, when the mind wander off to think, can you give guidance, please?
ทำให้ไม่เป็นธรรมชาติบางครั้งก็ต่อต้านสภาพจิตในปัจจุบันเช่นเว วลาจิตหนีไปคิดขออาจารย์ชี้แนะครับ
Last 5 days, you've been listening to a lot of Dharma, and you take practice Dharma, and you start to understand this question already, right? You say that you want to observe when that use the observations of the body movements. If you have intention to observe, you're thinking about it. You don't really feel it. You don't see it. You don't sense it. You don't sense the body movement. This is two different stories. When you sense the body movement, you observe it. You don't think about it. Now you drift away to the well of thoughts again. Could you see that? When the body nodding, you sense that. You're all focusing the body now. Could you see that? That one. It's different. When you develop intention to become self-aware, the mind moves towards take a grip, and it placed upon some weight, and it's become unnatural. But it must happen first, so that you become aware of it. And that moment you become aware. But if you have intention to observe, like now, I'm sitting right now, and you're actually thinking right now, not feeling it, actually moving here, like sensing that, not just trying to think that you're moving, just feel it. Is it different? You can try this, but you can become more self-aware, to be honest. But you like to go thinking, because you've been training for how many years? 3 years. And then you try to observe whatever happens within the mind in the present moment. Let it be more natural. And whatever changes within the mind also. When the body moves also. When the mind, for example, before your turn, is pretty far away, but now you become closer and closer, you become more excited. You see that? Feel that. There are changes from one state of mind to another. See? It portrays the phenomena. You don't thinking about it, but you can feel it. You see that there are differences between there, here and now. See, the mind becomes joyful because you see the phenomena. And now the excitement just low level from previously. Otherwise, speaking in the beginning, you don't really understand what I'm saying because you keep on focusing on the body because you got excited and you try to control the excitement. You don't want it to go away. You don't understand anything I said, but now you become more relaxed. You tend to understand more. Now the body is sitting. See that? Feel that? That I try to change you from body, from that moment you try to move and become self-aware, so it's stuck there. But once you take a grip on that particular point, now it might be subtle, but could you see that it is actually like that?
坐在这边的感觉跟平常不一样，因为可能还不习惯，因为是第一次跟老师互动。
The very first interview, I feel unusual. For a fifth time, it's unusual again. It will be unusual, not just first time. Those who never haven't interviewed, they are very natural, but the front rows are very unusual, unnatural. See, it's not about the first time. Other people who have been interviewed for many times, they become unusual and natural too. So it's not just about this lifetime and other lifetime, but all kinds of lifetime have. Oh, sorry, not lifetime. It's nationalities. Whatever nationalities you are, you become excited. Even Thai people as well. That's the nature of the mind. Whatever the situations try to energize or excite you, and it happens. Like 400 people pay attention to you, one single person. Your point of interest of everybody. It's very normal for you to get excited easily.
老师，我平常心都会乱动，那现在都不动了。
Normally, his mind wandering away, but now his mind is really stiff in place. See, I told you that you're trying to control your excitement so that you don't want the mind to get away anywhere.
老师，我平常
Now it's got better, huh? See that? It's more joyful. The mind has developed more happiness than previously. From previously, you're controlling and suppressing the mind. Feel it. Don't think about it. If you don't know, just see the changes. Just see that it's different from previously. It changed. Now you're thinking. You're thinking to asking questions. Whatever question it is, you just keep on coming up with the question. Instead of listening and understanding, you keep coming up with the questions.
老师，我是在想问说，想和去直接看到的差别是什么？
I would like to know what's the difference between thinking and seeing. It's a vast difference. It's two different stories. When you're thinking, it's actually one kind of delusion when you are in the world of thoughts. But when you see that the mind wanders off to think, that's two different things. To see, we don't take action, we don't act out, we don't interfere. We see that it's working, and there's something see the activities. Can you imagine what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the wording for this. When people see and they think that, when, for example, see this clock, it's not seeing like this. This is seeing through eyes, but the Dharma within the heart can be seen through the sense, through the feeling, not using your eyes. A lot of people becomes like very eye pain and pain to the back of the skull and stiff because you're trying to use your eyes to observe the phenomena. But if you cannot forbid it, but if you know so, it starts to relax. Even though you try overgassing on the eyes or trying to see things through the eyes, you're overgassing. If you know that you are overgassing, that moment is not overgassing. It's actually the minds that are overgassing. So the moments that you drift away to the world of thoughts, and there's one thing that knows that your mind drift away to the world of thoughts. That's two different things. That when you know that your mind wander off to think, that's not that you're not thinking. You are the one that knows that there's a mind that wander off to think. The body is sitting. Could you see that? Now you're overcasting the body. You see that? See, there's one thing that knows that the body sitting. There's two different things, two different feelings, two different phenomena. Now you wander off to think again. Could you see that? We don't try to condemn. We don't condemn them, but sometimes you have to think. But you have to be aware that now your mind is wander off to think. Sometimes you could see the story of the mind as well. And sometimes you wander off to think without knowing the story of the mind.
老师，我都感觉我没办法去让他不要想，他就一直到处想。
I can't forbid it to think. You can't do that because that's the duty of mental formations. Because these comprises of five aggregate forms, feelings, mental formations, and consciousness. Each part has different duty. Whenever you don't think, you try to forbid it from thinking. How do you do that? It becomes blur, idiotic, and but these things works. It keeps on thinking, and that's their duty. But we don't try to support it. It's different. When you try to support it, helping it to thinking, know so that you wander off to think. Now you're trying to help it to fabricating and thinking. Just know that the mind wandering off to think. We don't forbid the thoughts or thinking or try to force it. We can't forbid it to happen. A lot of people who are overcasting very good, they becomes like this. It's stiff. Just now, I think quite a lot. I just try to act out. But for a lot of people who stuck in overgassing, they're interfering with the body and the mind and becomes tight and congested and suffer. And for those who are very competent at overgassing, they're very inclined towards overgassing and walk like a log, sitting like a rock. Like number 3 here. You start to become a log. Is that okay? Out of questions? Sometimes if you keep on sitting and you keep on asking questions because you keep on what questions to ask. Like there was a person yesterday kept on thinking what the questions they seem like it's not gonna worth it because so they like to ask questions so their money they're worth their time. If you know yourself that you wander away to think and wanting to ask questions, if you know that in the present moment that's precisely correct, it doesn't matter what the story of the mind is. It's either in the past or in the future. The past is already gone, the future is not yet to come, but in the present, you are wandering away to think. Be aware of that. Be aware in the present moment. And then the mind will get to learn. The mind gets to learn the knowing phenomena and wander off to the world of thoughts. And every time that you see the phenomena of the mind wandering away, you become self-aware. And the mind will realize, they understand that this is the phenomena of mindfulness, the phenomena of self-awareness. This has some specific characteristic which cannot be commanded to happen, but it happens because of its cause. That's more beneficial because the mind gets to see the phenomena and recognize those phenomena. The more often you could see the phenomena, you can recognize them. You're thinking of the questions and get the answers, you get the information, then you forget about them because the mind didn't get to learn. But if you practice, for example, you're drifting away, number 5, you're drifting away again, number 5, you keep on listening and looking at other people and you try to jotting down like that. See, you're drifting away for a long period of time. Good. You see, you don't have to jotting down because you forget about it in no time. Okay? Other questions, right? You'd like to ask more questions?
因为老师我脚不响，我就不知道怎么修行呢。老师可不可以告诉我？
If I don't think, I don't know how to practice Dhamma. See, I've told you many times that just be self-aware. Don't do anything. We try to become self-aware from time to time. Otherwise, you keep on thinking of Dharma practice. How could we achieve it? How could we start practicing Dharma? You keep on thinking, so you never actually started practicing Dharma. And whenever the curiosity happens, when you in the world of thoughts wander off to the world of thoughts, there comes the followed by the curiosity. You have to be aware of this. Even in the workplace, it happens too. When you're thinking, you become curious and you're trying to search for answers, and then you keep on thinking again, being curious again, trying to find the answer again. And it's going to be a loop, not a line. Because it fools you to keep in a loop without being alive, without moving forward. Like when curiosity comes, it's like you're lost in the forest, in the woods. You couldn't find exit. So the mind never gets to learn, never gets to improve. Just know it in the present that whenever the mind moves away and the curiosity arises, know so. If you can't see the curiosity phenomena, if you try to learn about it more and more, then you start to get to know it because it happens very often, which is your weakness. The more you could see it, the more points you've collected. And now you can observe the phenomena when you're thinking and you're curious and you like to ask questions. The wanting to ask questions is not the kind of defilements. You want to get the answers. And then the teacher don't want you to ask question, the aversion arises. Why other people can ask question, but why not me? The mind works like that. See? I don't tell that it is wrong. You just don't know, so that you know. If you can know these kind of phenomena, you can do it all day. You have to see it. You have to witness it so that you can recognize it. The mindfulness is the recognition. How we can recognize? You have to see the phenomena. How can we see phenomena? You have to be able to see the phenomena more often so that we can recognize it. So it's not that you have to depend on me. I just kind of point out the phenomena and the characteristics of the phenomena, specific characteristic of the phenomena. And every time that the curiosity arises, it shows these specific characteristics. When you go back home and you can see, you can recognize it. The more often you see it. When this kind of phenomena arises more often, then when it happens, the mindfulness kicks in and becomes self-aware in no time. When you understand, it's not just about unwholesomeness. Unwholesomeness for the rest of us happens very often for the rest of us. You can use this unwholesomeness. A lot of masters could see the unwholesomeness and they can understand it. Do you understand? Yeah. The other day, Ajahn gave talks, and he said that Luang Po went to visit his brother, and there are storms, and he crouching on the dwellings of the monks, and he's afraid of getting cold, and he become understood. Good. Yeah, you don't have to be afraid of the defilements, but we don't succumb to it. We have to see it more often. Every time that you see it, the defilements, then it couldn't dominate your mind, and you don't do wrongdoing through speech and the body. The defilements are not the defilements are not satisfied, and it will become lessen and lessen by not getting satisfied. You get more benefits out of it this way, because the mind gets to learn, get to understood, get to understand. Okay. No more question. If you go back and keep on thinking, that's okay.
现在看到很多想了，一直跑出来，所以不能再问了。
I can see more thoughts. Good, great.
Yes.
I'm glad. A lot of people in the world of thoughts and they don't see it. And sometimes you keep on thinking and try to search for solutions so they become suffer. But every time that we could see it, it's like we can cut the moments in life when the suffering arises, we become aware of it. When you see it, you see the mind that moves the things. If you know this, you see it, then it won't further fabricate it. All defilements wouldn't be able to arise. If you couldn't see it, there will be curiosity, there will be delusion, there will be greed, which is wanting to asking questions. One is you're not got satisfied, then the aversion arises. The defilements work all along the path. And the last stage, when you don't see the aversion and you collected a lot more aversion on and on, then you can break the precept. You keep on fabricating more and more of unwholesomeness, and you can make mistakes, you can falter. So be aware of the mind that lost in thoughts. It's very good, but not the story of the mind. At first, you might know the story of the mind. Sometimes you think of it like 2 or 3 or 5 stories, and then you realize that, oh, you're just lost in thoughts. That's okay. You'll become more and more competent at knowing, because you're starting to see the pattern. There will be a pattern of lost in thought. It's like the minds that move away in a particular place, and you start to recognize the characteristics of it. Once the mind moves, the mindfulness kicks in. The mindfulness becomes quicker and quicker. You started from practicing like this, from observing more frequent, and then you can recognize them. Good. Anumodana, that you could see the mind that lost in thoughts more often. And I'm not anumodana that that the mind think a lot. No. Next person. I've been learning Luang Por teaching for 1 year. I never attended courses. I never interviewed with Ajahn. During formal meditation, I walk meditation and observing the body breathing. Sometimes I chanting. In daily life, I walk in meditation, observe the body. Sometimes I observe the thoughts and emotions. The question: previously, while meditating in formal meditation, I used to see the non-self. During formal meditation, I felt that there's a lot of suffering within my mind. Sometimes I want to escape from it. Sometimes I drift away so that I couldn't become self-aware or be aware of the emotions. I'm not sure whether my practice is correct or not. And I would like to know if the aggregates are separated or not. Can you guide me through the way how I overcome this, please? Thank you.
คำถามก่อนหน้านี้ทำในรูปแบบเคยเห็นอนัตตาช่วงนี้ทำในรูปแบบกลับรู้สึกทุกข์ในใจมากบางครั้งอยากหนีความทุกข์บางครั้งก็เผลอหลงไปจึงไม่สามารถรู้ตัวถึงอารมณ์ได้ขอถามว่าแบบนี้ปฏิบัติถูกไหมคะขันธ์แยกออกจากกันแล้วหรือยังขอให้อาจารย์ชี้แนะแนวทางการก้าวข้ามด้วยค่ะ
You've been doing for a year. Previously, when you practicing by observing the breath, right? And then walking meditation as well. Your
以
microphone.
前是观过呼吸，但是固定形
You
式
observe
是
the
最
breath.
近几个月开始做的。固定形式就是每天惊醒，但有时候累的时候，好像就会自然的观呼吸。
Back then, she observed the breath, but now I start to walk meditation every day. And sometimes there's a mantra together with the breath, correct?
对，有时候是念诵，但基本上，主要还是精行。
Most of the time I do walking meditation. Now you do more walking meditation than
是
sitting,
的
right?
每天进行2个小时。
Okay. Your mind got better. It's not attached to the body as previously. Because while walking meditation, you cannot focus on the breath. The more you walk, for example, 1 hour, at first my overgassing, after a while, the second hour, you can't overgassing, you lose some strength to overgas. Do you understand? Yeah, so the mind become more relaxed and good, better. It's good. But you're saying that you do formal meditations to make you suffer because you are greedy to do more, to do longer period of time. How many hours do you do for walking meditation in a day?
最近没有怎么进行，最近比较忙。
I don't really do formal walking meditation because I'm very busy.
就不想进行。
I have a lot of suffering, so I don't get away from it. I don't want to practice Dharma. It's not the suffering from the Dharma practice, but you're suffering from the world, from the greed that doesn't satisfy, not very satisfying. While practicing, if your mind has developed mindfulness and samadhi, at the moment the mind is happy, you're not suffer. If it suffers, it's happened for a moment, and you can see the suffering is there, but the mind doesn't suffer together with the suffering. You see that you can see the emotion, but actually it's the object. It's what the mind knows. When you observe the breath is the object that the mind knows.
明白。
You see? When you ask question, you can observe the object. It means that you're not with the object, you're drifting away. And you didn't realize that, because when you're wandering away, you can see that that's the object. That's the object that the mind knows. So when you're saying that what you practice is correct or not, do you think it's correct?
我觉得是有进步的，因为随着修行，我能够越来越多的了解自己。当我升起念头的时候，我能够看到念头；然后升起嗔心的时候，能够看到嗔心，然后开始对一些念头、情绪保持距离，就是感觉到会中立。然后最开始我只能观身，然后随着我一段时间的修行之后，我能够开始观身体，不是。随着一段时间的修行之后，我可以开始观念头、观情绪，我会更加的了解我自己，我觉得对我帮助挺大，应该是对的。特别是我之前在精行2个小时的过程当中，我是有快乐的，而且我是能够看到心跑，知道心，然后再回来，然后心再跑，再知道，是这样子的。
I felt that I have more progress and I understand myself more. I can see thoughts and aversion. For my feelings, I felt that observing my feelings in the distance, from the distance. Back then, I observed my body. Now I try to observe the thoughts and feelings more. During formal meditations, I will do 2 hours walking meditation, and it gives me happiness. I can see that my mind moves. Good, correct. while doing formal meditation, the mind gains some mental power and could see different phenomena. But once your mental strength is lower, you don't do formal meditation without recharging it. It becomes deteriorated. You see that your mind is more
能感觉
restless.
到。
Therefore, you already knew your weakness, areas of improvement. The reasons that you could see phenomena because you used to train and observe the body and mind. You could see the phenomena of the body and mind. You could see the mind that wander off and wander away and moving away through the world of thoughts. You could see them. In daily life, with the strength of the mind, then you could see these phenomena when you let them work and processing. But now it starts fading away because you become restless a lot. Therefore, the formal meditation is a must. That's why Luang Po taught another thing is you have to observe the 5 precepts. Like when you want to build a house, if you don't have a post, the main post is like the precept. Without the precept or the foundation of the main post, when you want to build a house, the house will not be strong and collapse. So you have to be determined at preserving the 5 precepts and be consistent by cultivating mindfulness on and on, observing the phenomena and defilements more often, and be aware of the defilements so that it won't dominate your mind. So the mind won't be dominated by defilements, so that the mind won't break the precepts. That when the mindfulness preserves the mind itself and do formal meditation every day. Normally, the mind is restless on and on because we consume a lot of information. The strength of the samadhi is lower because it's drifting through 6 sense doors, receiving all kinds of emotion and objects through 6 sense doors all the time. Therefore, formal meditation is a must. During formal meditation is the time is a period that we ignore all kinds of business outside world. We don't pay attention to the 6 sense doors affairs. We will ignore the eyes and ears and tongue, and because we in the environment that we accustomed to. But the thing is most clear is our body, and you can see the mind as well. The mind that wander off the world of thoughts often, and then you could see the phenomena of the body and the mind that wander away more often. When you can see the mind that wander off the thing more often, it means that you train your mind to memorize, to recognize the phenomena more firmly. During the day, you have a resolution to practice mindfulness from time to time. Let the mind work, let the mind making contacts with the world. Whatever the mind fabricates, for example, wholesomeness arising, be aware of them. Happiness and happiness, indifference, also as well, so that we can cultivate mindfulness in daily life. But if you have chances, you try to fill in the gap it's not like from dusk till dawn you forget about the body and mind, making contact with the world through 6 sense doors all the time, wandering away, wandering off all the time. All kind of samadhi that you've been collecting will be used up. So you have to fill in these gaps, by taking some break from the activities you've been doing and try to become self-aware again. Breathe in, become aware of the existence of the body. At first, you could feel the existence of the body from time to time. Normally, Luang Po told that he would take a break every 1 hour, become self-aware, become more relaxed for about 3 or 5 minutes. One day you can collect for 1 hour if you work, right? 12 hours, it gives you 1 hour to become self-aware with yourself. The mind won't used up or running away all the time like that. in daily life, you try to become self-aware from time to time and develop mindfulness from time to time. During formal meditation, it's like the battery is not running out too much. You didn't use up the battery, so it takes shorter time to recharge the battery. At the beginning of the formal meditation, most of the time they are calmness samadhi because you are lingering with the one object for a period of time. If you don't use up your battery, then it takes shorter time, and you can train your mind to become stable, and then train separating the aggregates and cultivate wisdom later on. But if you use up all the energy, someday it might going to be about recharging the battery during formal meditation. But it depends on each person's experience. If you do more of formal meditations, then you gain more strength of the mind, strength of samadhi. You gain more mental power, and during the day you will develop more mindfulness during the day, because with that kind of strength of the mind you could see more phenomena. The mind that is restless couldn't see phenomena because it used up all energy. See that? So formal meditation is a must. Do not be callous. Do not think that you can cultivate wisdom all the time, constantly. You can observe one thing. There's a feeling. Do you feel that this is us? We are so great. We are so good. You see that?
觉得吧。
You can observe that one. In the workplace, those who are very smart, they think that they are what should I use the word? I feel like they're the best, they're good. If you could see this more often, you're still good, but your mind is more malleable, more gentle. And other people surrounding you could feel it too. Sometimes you think that you're the best might harm other people. You will have some standard. Smart people will have some standard, and they think that people need to achieve the same standard as they did.
明白。
And other people would feel their minds are not unwholesome because they feel inferior. And when you attach to this kind of behavior, it makes other people accept you more difficult. It's more difficult to accept you. But if you have loving kindness, give chances to other people and understand them from seeing your own defilements. Seeing your own defilement, you would understand yourself and don't want to harm other people. You try to understand them instead and give them chances for improvement. If you give them opportunities, they might be good as you, or better, even better than you. Different people have different capabilities on things. The things that you're good at, they might be good at other things. You see? So you tend to accept other people more, and you can work more happily. Other people tend to embrace your opinions more. Good? Is that good? You can train yourself like this. It's very beneficial for those who work. And the work will be smooth. And you'll got more supporters from this Dharma practice by knowing your defilements.